You're listening to What to Listen To, the podcast that answers the question you didn't even know you were asking. From fascinating deep dives to thought-provoking trends, we've got your ears covered, so sit back, plug in, and let's explore what's worth your time today.
Welcome to What to Listen To, a podcast where we dig into some really fascinating stories.
Yeah.
And today,
Absolutely.
we're diving into one that might make you kind of rethink American history.
Yeah.
You ready for this? It's 1939.
Okay.
Madison Square Garden is packed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not for a basketball game or a concert.
Okay.
We're talking 20,000 people all gathered for a pro-Nazi rally right here in New York City.
Wow.
That actually happened.
Crazy.
So are we ready to dive into this?
I am. I'm ready.
Okay, so at the heart of this story is this pro-Nazi rally held by the German-American Bund.
That's right.
And what's amazing is we have all this source material for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Photos, posters, news articles, headlines. It really paints this picture.
Yeah. It really does make it feel incredibly real. And what's disturbing is this happened right here in the heart of New York City.
So let's rewind a little bit. We're talking 1930s America, Great Depression.
Right.
And this rise of fascism in Europe.
Yeah.
Casting a shadow across the world. So we have this group, the German-American Bund, led by this guy, Fritz Julius Kuhn.
Right.
And they're promoting Nazi ideology.
Yeah.
Right here on U.S. soil.
Yeah. They even had training camps, like mirroring those in Germany.
That's wild. What's so fascinating is how they presented themselves, though.
Yeah, this is one of the most disturbing aspects of the Bund. They didn't present themselves as just like a carbon copy of the Nazi party.
Right.
They really tried to weave their pro-Nazi agenda into American life. They use the term Americanism constantly.
Right.
You know, positioning themselves almost as defenders of traditional values.
It's crazy.
It's a twisted, warped version of patriotism.
And especially when you think about the timing of this rally.
Oh, yeah.
George Washington's birthday.
Right.
It's not an accident. They held it at Madison Square Garden, this iconic American venue.
Yeah.
On a day when we're supposed to be celebrating America's founding.
It's deliberate. They're not just trying to blend in. They're actively co-opting these American symbols and holidays to try to make their message more palatable. And if you look at these posters from the rally, it's just striking. You see the American flag, George Washington, right alongside swastikas and images of Hitler.
It's crazy. It's chilling.
Yeah.
Let's go inside the rally now.
Okay.
Our sources describe it as a scene straight out of some dystopian film.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Uniformed Bund members.
Yeah.
Swastikas everywhere. Kuhn right there in the center giving this speech.
Yeah. A fiery speech where he denounces President Roosevelt as Rosenfeld. It's unbelievable, right? To think that this is happening in the heart of American democracy, this blatant display of hate.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what does this say about the political and social climate of the time?
I mean, it's a great question. And sadly, a lot of the tactics that they're using inflammatory language, targeting specific groups, appealing to people's fears and prejudices. These are sadly tactics that are still used today.
It's true. And it is a good reminder that the seeds of extremism, they can take root anywhere.
Yeah.
Even in a nation that prides itself on freedom and diversity.
Absolutely.
But the Bund wasn't met with total acceptance.
That's right.
So outside of Madison Square Garden, a different story is unfolding.
Completely different. So while those 20,000 people are inside, you have over 100,000 protesters gathered outside.
Wow, okay.
This is a massive demonstration of opposition.
That's incredible. And who are these protesters?
Yeah, it's a really diverse coalition. You have labor unions, Jewish groups, civil rights organizations, just everyday citizens.
So they're united against the Bund's message.
Yeah, they're united in their opposition to hate.
That's inspiring.
Yeah, it really speaks to the power of collective action.
It does.
And the importance of standing up for what you believe in.
Before we jump into what happens after the rally and the government's response, we want to take a quick moment to thank the incredible team at Semanas designs the creative force behind this podcast.
Yeah, their research fact-checking and topic selections are just top-notch.
They make these deep dives possible. So if you have a topic that you'd love to hear us explore, or you're just curious about the amazing design work Smat Designs does, you can check out their website, smatdesigns.com.
Yeah, and if you have a specific deep dive request, you can email them at smatdesigns.com.
So back to this rally.
Okay.
Inside, we have this hate-filled spectacle.
Yeah.
Outside, we had this massive protest.
Right.
It's like these two competing visions of America clashing.
Yeah, it really highlights these deep divisions that existed within American society at the time.
The country was still reeling from the Depression.
Absolutely.
Grappling with its identity.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to respond to the rise of fascism in Europe.
It's a pivotal moment in history.
And there's this one story that really captures the spirit of resistance.
Yeah.
This Jewish plumber, Isidore Greenbaum, he rushes the stage in protest during Kuhn's speech.
Wow, that takes incredible courage.
It does. Imagine the courage that took. He was immediately attacked, beaten, arrested, but his fine was only $25.
Wow, just $25. That's amazing.
What's fascinating is that even though it seems like a small act,
right,
Greenbaum's defiance became this symbol.
Yeah, it became a symbol of the growing opposition to the Bund and everything that they represented.
It's a reminder that even small acts of courage can inspire others.
It's a timeless message.
To take a stand against hate.
Absolutely, and it resonates today just as strongly as it did back then. It wasn't just individuals like Greenbaum pushing back, though. The rally actually had a huge impact on how the government viewed these groups.
You're right. It really became this turning point. The threat of homegrown fascism was in the national spotlight.
Exactly. Before this, the Bund, they had operated with relative freedom.
Right.
They were taking advantage of, America's commitment to free speech.
Yeah.
But this display at Madison Square Garden, it was just so audacious that combined with the huge public outcry, the government had to take notice.
So what happened? How did they respond?
It wasn't an immediate crackdown, which you might think.
Yeah.
The Bund was actually pretty good at finding legal loopholes.
Right.
Hiding behind the First Amendment.
It's interesting. The sources really showed that tension between protecting free speech and combating hate speech.
It's a debate we still have today.
Yeah.
And back then, in 1939, the government had to tread lightly.
Right.
But groups like the FBI, they started really looking into the Bund.
Okay.
Trying to find anything they could prosecute.
And they got Kuhn in the end.
They did.
But not for, promoting Nazi ideology.
No, it's actually kind of ironic. Their downfall wasn't from the hate speech.
Okay.
It was financial crimes.
Oh, wow.
Kuhn was arrested in 1939 for embezzling funds from the Bund.
From his own group.
Yeah, their own money.
Wow. It's like poetic justice in a way.
Yeah, obsessed with purity and order.
Right.
Brought down by their own corruption.
So it does show how difficult it is
to
prosecute hate speech directly.
It's a challenge we still face today, for sure.
Makes you think about that balance,
Yeah.
between our individual liberties and preventing the spread of dangerous ideologies.
It's complicated. No easy answers.
Yeah.
But the Bund story, it shows us that ignoring extremism just doesn't work.
So what happened to the Bund after Kuhn's arrest?
I mean, they definitely declined after that.
Right.
But the final blow was America entering World War II.
It's amazing how public opinion can shift.
Oh, absolutely.
Like suddenly, tolerating a pro-Nazi group is unthinkable.
Right, exactly. Overnight, it changes.
So they were declared illegal.
That's right, officially illegal. Many members were detained or deported.
Why?
Their activities shut down.
So this rally, this brazen hate, it really led to their downfall.
It did. And it's easy to see this as something that just happened in the past.
Right.
But there are some really relevant lessons for us today.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Their tactics, manipulating language.
Right.
Using symbols, appealing to fear and prejudice.
It's all still happening.
We see it all the time.
The specific ideologies might be different.
Right.
But those underlying methods, they're still the same.
So what can we learn from all this? What are the takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, we can never take our democracy for granted.
Okay.
The Bund, they operated openly.
Right.
Held rallies, spread propaganda.
Right.
That was because of the freedoms we have.
And those freedoms can be exploited.
Exactly. We have to be vigilant, recognize the warning signs, and push back against anything that tries to undermine our democratic institutions.
It's easy to look back and think, that could never happen again.
Right. It's tempting to think that
it can.
It absolutely can. Intolerance and hate can grow anywhere under the right circumstances.
So we need to be aware
Yeah.
of how these extremist groups work.
Exactly. How they use language,
Right.
how they prey on people's fears. We need to be able to tell truth from falsehood.
Right.
And have the courage to speak up against injustice.
So what can we do? Like concrete steps to protect democracy.
Education is huge. We need critical thinking skills, media literacy,
right?
Historical awareness.
Yeah.
People need to recognize propaganda.
And we need a culture of tolerance.
Yes, absolutely. Where differences are respected and hate speech is challenged.
We can't just ignore these issues.
We can't. We have to engage in the fight against hate.
Both online and offline.
And everywhere.
Yeah.
It's about building a just society for everyone.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved practically?
Educate yourself.
Okay.
Learn about extremist movements, their tactics, the warning signs.
Good advice.
And don't be afraid to talk to people who disagree with you.
Right.
Challenge your own assumptions.
Okay.
Be open to learning.
Yeah.
We need to get out of our echo chambers
and
have respectful dialogue, even when it's hard.
Good point.
Yeah.
And there's so many organizations fighting hate.
Yeah. Support them. Volunteer, donate.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit. We're not just protecting ourselves.
Right.
We're building a better world.
That's beautifully said. Sometimes it feels overwhelming,
I know what you mean.
with all the hate and division we see.
Yeah.
But the Buns story shows us that even when things seem impossible,
Yeah.
a collective voice can make a difference.
Think about that protest.
Yeah.
5 times more people outside than in.
That's powerful.
That's people of conscience coming together.
It's inspiring, that power of collective action.
Absolutely.
Even small acts of resistance can be part of a bigger change.
Every voice matters. Every action counts.
Yeah.
This fight against hate.
Yeah.
It's ongoing.
Yeah.
We need to be vigilant, courageous,
Right.
and committed to a just world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that we're not alone in this.
No, not at all. And even when things seem really dark, there's always hope.
This has been a really thought-provoking deep dive.
It has.
A little unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I think it's important to look at these moments in history.
Absolutely. We have to learn from them.
So as we wrap up this chilling chapter,
Yeah.
what's the one message you hope people take away from this?
That's a good question. I think it comes down to this. We all have a responsibility to be active in our democracy.
Okay.
We can't just sit back and watch.
You can't be passive.
Right? We need to be informed,
Right.
engaged, willing to speak out.
Against injustice.
Yeah, no matter how small it seems.
Because even those small acts.
Yeah, like Isidore Greenbaum.
Right.
They can spark real change.
Exactly. So every voice matters.
Every voice, every action. This fight against hate, it's not over.
It's ongoing.
We need to be vigilant and courageous.
And work for a better world.
Could have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, a huge thank you to the incredible team at SMAT Designs.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They bring these deep dives to life. If you enjoyed this episode, check out their portfolio, smatdesigns.com. And if you have a topic you'd love us to explore, email us sdsm@smatdesigns.com.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys.
Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep fighting for that world you want to live in.
Until next time, don't just hear the world, listen to it.